Hey, JFish01 here. We're going to do two tests today. First, we're going to do my popcan test. We're going to use 1 ounce of denatured alcohol. There's 1 ounce of denatured alcohol. We're going to use 2 cups of water, and I'm going to use the same temperature water for the next test with the fake pocket rocket. So there's 2 cups of water. We'll go ahead and light the stove. Alright, so we'll give that just a second to start to heat up there. But we'll go ahead and start the test, because theoretically when you're camping you want to use all the heat you can. So it'll start to bloom or plume in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and start the test. 1 ounce of alcohol in the popcan stove, 2 cups of water. We'll see how long that takes to boil. Okay, so we just passed we're coming up to the 1.5 minute mark. No bubbles yet. And from past experience with the stove, I think it took me about 6 or 7 minutes to boil water. What we're going to be going up against will be the $8 eBay stove. And from what I understand, this is a pocket rocket copy. So we just got this in the mail yesterday, and we're going to give that a try next. And I'm pretty sure this thing's going to beat it. Because we're at 2 minutes now, just over 2 minutes. Hopefully the GoPro Pro can see the water. Tiny bubbles now. The stove is pluming excellent. So it's working as it should. And we now have hit the 3 minute mark. So very tiny bubbles, not very many of them in the bottom of the pot. So we're getting up to the 4-minute mark. We have some more bubbles on the bottom of the pot, but very tiny, definitely not a boil yet. So 4.5 minutes, I see a little steam coming off the top of the water. Still a few, about the same amount of tiny bubbles. They are starting to actually come up to the surface like the start of a boil. Hopefully the camera can see that. Alright, at the 5-minute mark, not much change, just a couple bubbles coming up, definitely not at a boil. We have some more movement in the water in the pot. All right, we're starting to boil, get a boil anyway. You could hear it. Hopefully the camera can hear it. I wouldn't say it's a rolling boil yet, but definitely it's starting to boil. And we're at almost 6 minutes. So around the edges of the pot now at about 6 minutes. It's got a pretty good rolling boil around the edges of the pot, and I think I'm gonna call it right there. That looks like a good rolling boil right there. Perfect. So 6 minutes and 12 seconds, and we have a very good rolling boil now. Hopefully the camera can see that. So 6 minutes and 12 seconds with the popcan stove. I'm going to shut the lights off and let you take a look at the I don't know if I can show you the plume on that. So I experimented with many different builds of alcohol popcan stoves, and I wound up reading about what you need to do is make the height of the stove the same as the diameter of the opening, and this one worked for me really good. I've used it several times hiking the North Country Trail, and 6.5 minutes isn't bad for me. We have enough alcohol in there, we could actually let that go probably for a couple more minutes. But let's stop it here, and we're gonna put the China stove on next, and I'll cool the pot down, and we'll try to get that one next. GoPro, stop recording. All right, Jay Fish again. Now we're going to do the China stove, $8 from eBay. I just put it on I think this is a Coleman tank. Just picked this up at Walmart. The stove's on. I've never lit it before. We'll go ahead and same 2 cups of water. I did cool down the pot. 2 cups of water from the same container that the alcohol stove had. Just put that in there. Alright, so I never lit this before, so we'll give it a try. That's some heat. Alright, let's go ahead and start this guy. That's not even on high. I don't know if it needs to be on high, but I think that's high enough for me. So we'll see what we get with this. We're already starting to get some bubbles at the bottom. Hopefully the camera can see it. Probably should put this up on high, see how much higher it gets. I don't know if that made a difference, but I did open it a little bit more. Alright, so we're at the 1 minute mark now. We got some bubbles coming up pretty good. I wouldn't say it was a rolling boil. Alright, we're coming up on a minute and a half. Still about the same. We have bigger bubbles than the alcohol stove produced, and they're starting to come to the surface. So this is kind of surprising to me. We're at the 2 minute mark here in a couple seconds, and from videos that I've seen on YouTube, they've had a full roll boil at about 2 minutes or under. Now this one definitely is getting more center bubbles, where the alcohol stove seemed to get the bubbles from around the edge of the pot, where this one is really kind of centrally located, and I believe that's because that's where the flame's hitting it. So 2 minutes and 33 seconds, still not a full rolling boil. And we are at 3 minutes. We're getting very close to the rolling boil that I seen with the alcohol stove. And I'm gonna call that 3 minutes and 5 seconds. We do have a very good rolling boil there. All right, well, here's the comparison with the two. What you gotta consider with the alcohol stove. I take, I think this is a 12-ounce bottle, 750 milliliters. I don't know, it's alcohol. I don't drink, so you tell me. I guess it's, what do you want to take? Do you want to take the tank, or do you want to carry your alcohol in liquid form? So there you go. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you like this test. Happy hiking, backpacking, camping. Thanks for watching. Jayfish out. GoPro, stop recording.